So I recently saw Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I saw it actually as part of my birthday long celebration, and I saw it at the Alamo Drafthouse in Brooklyn. I think being able to see a movie and also be treated to a restaurant experience is kind of the bomb. So this is going to be spoilers. Spoilers, 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 spoilers. So I just wanted to make everybody clear that there's spoilers involved. So the Multiverse of Madness is Doctor Strange. Skip that, I'm not going to give you a synopsis. If you haven't seen the film, don't watch the video. If you've already seen the film, you know what happens. So the thing I wanted to touch on, I was talking to a colleague the other day about story evaluation and story process, and his comment was that the Scarlet Witch's resolution in the film is not redemption. And if you think about the hero's journey, or you think about the villain being smited, and then there's an element of redemption that potentially a villain may seek. And I have 2 points to that. One is, I think that the Scarlet Witch is not the only villain in that movie. I think that movie is, in that film, the Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange are both villains. The Scarlet Witch is, seeking to get to her children and get to a dimension where she can be with her children, and regardless of somebody else, and she's willing to kill to get that, and she's using this evil force, the Darkhold, to do that. Doctor Strange is arrogant and always thinking he's the only one who can solve things, and that's told by his love interest, who he claims to love in any dimension, and this young woman who has interdimensional powers. So he is also someone who is a villain. He thinks he's doing the right thing. He thinks he's the only person who can fix it. That ego is what's driving him, but he ultimately hurts people when he does it. He's hurt the woman he loves, and he hurts this young woman who can jump through time. So he is also a villain, and even so much so that in timeline 818 or whichever one, where we see the Illuminati, he has been canceled effectively. Like, I think that's a really interesting metaphor for being canceled. He died. He was killed basically by this organization that knows that they need to protect people from him, and then any other version of him needs to immediately be killed, immediately be destroyed, immediately be shackled and not even able to act. And I think that's an allegory for being canceled, for being, when you know that you've done something wrong, when you've been told you've done something wrong, instead of having a redress, having some kind of conversation about it, you're immediately unable to do anything. You're told, you're put out of the ring, you're told you can't play anymore. And so I think in this film, it's not about redemption, it's about accountability. That's my second point. I feel like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is more about accountability than anything. The Scarlet Witch, even though she's doing something that she feels passionate about, she thinks she's doing good, she causes harm, she causes pain. And when she sees the pain that she's caused, she then acts to redress it. She retreats, she destroys the Darkhold so that harm can't hurt anyone else. Doctor Strange, when he's told of the harm that he causes, he basically, when he takes the power from the young interdimensional jumping girl, that he would kill her, and that he basically always has to hold the knife. So he basically makes his own love interest not feel valued, and it makes her feel hurt, and she's essentially canceled him as well. When he's told the pain that he has caused, he then acts to acknowledge that he causes the pain and then redress it. So he asks his love interest to guard him and to hold the knife, literally and figuratively. And then in the very end, he instead of taking the power from the interdimensional girl, she's been gaslit. She's so willing to eat, at this point, even though she's been fighting it, she's now willing to let him kill her and take her power to save everybody, because she's been gaslit that that's the only way it can be. He is basically there to tell her that she has the power. She's had the power the whole time. And he relinquishes his need, his ego, his need to be the one to solve everything. And he is working to redress the harm. He's working to take the harm away and not put it out anymore. So I think that if you look at it through that lens, it's actually quite powerful, and it's actually quite amazing that a superhero movie has that content. And I think we need to review that, sometimes even the hero of the story can be its villain.